to the naysayers who think I'll be intimidated, bring it on! Bring it on!
New today, Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo re-elected after her opponent concedes in an intense campaign. And now on the 411, our coverage of the midterm election results. Good afternoon. I'm Rekha Mudaraj.
And I'm Ron Trevino. We heard from a lot of you about issues at the polls, and today we're pushing to get you answers, especially in Harris County, which was plagued with problems yesterday.
I'm frustrated because you had 24 months to prepare for a major election, and nothing should have been left unturned.
And now there's a lawsuit after a delayed start at some polling locations forced an extension of voting hours. We're breaking all of that down for you.
Adam Bennett joins us live from there at NRG. Adam.
Well, Ron, the unofficial final results from Election Day from all of those 782 polling places, those were posted mid-morning, but the official final count still continues here at NRG Arena. What election workers have been focusing on today is what is called emergency slot ballots. So that's when the ballots, those pieces of paper, couldn't be properly scanned into the machine for any number of reasons. A lot of times it could be paper jamming. Remember, that's what slowed the count back in the March primaries. So the way this works, two election workers, they will review each one of these slots carefully and duplicate it to make sure that the correct votes are counted.
And what we've seen in some instances is that the wording, the ballot selections are skewed so that the scanner doesn't actually can't read the language. So when the scanner can't read the image, it kicks it out.
Some mail-in ballots still need to be counted as well. Any ballots that were postmarked by 7 o'clock last night can arrive by 5 o'clock this afternoon to be counted. And the county is also waiting to get back ballots from overseas voters as well as those in the military. Those have until 5 o'clock in the afternoon next Monday to arrive. The administrator estimates that could be between 1,200 to 1,400 extra votes that still need to be counted, along with an unknown number of provisional ballots cast as well. So we're not done just yet with the final count. Ron and Rekha.
A long process. Thank you so much, Adam Bennett. Our investigative team is digging deeper today into some of the issues that caused delays at the polls. One of them resulted in a lawsuit and extra time for people to vote, but it's now unclear whether those votes will count. Cheryl Mercedes has been working hard to find out. Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Ron. The Texas Organized Project, that's the group that filed the lawsuit yesterday afternoon on behalf of Harris County voters and the ACLU. Both tell me that their job here is done. They wanted to make sure the voters' rights were granted, and they tell me they do not anticipate being a part of any more lawsuits connected to this election. Now, you'll recall the state attorney general's office formed a task force to monitor elections in Harris County. I reached out to that office to ask if its team uncovered any issues yesterday and if they plan to take any action. They have not responded to me. KHOU election law analyst Chris Feldman tells me people who cast their ballots after 7 p.m. last night have a right to be worried.
If it was my vote, I would be concerned about it. What you can do about it, though, is relatively limited, and most voters aren't going to have the ability to get involved in this court process.
So what happens next after the Supreme Court stay, and will it make a difference? More from my interview at 5, and my colleague Jeremy Rogowski is talking to voting judges about those paper shortages at the polls to find out how could that happen. KHOU 11 Investigates is working hard to get those answered for you. Coming up at 5.
Thank you, Cheryl. Last night, we spoke to plenty of frustrated voters who tried to cast their ballots but weren't able to do so because of legal issues surrounding the polls being open for an extra hour. And that included this woman.
So your vote matters. Your voice matters. It could be that one vote that matters. I'm going to try not to cry.
It was emotional. Tiffany Craig caught up with that voter again today who says she still can't believe she wasn't able to cast her ballot. Tiff.
Yeah, Rekha, that woman's name is Melanie. She works full-time and also cares for her aging father. She says when she heard there was an extra hour last night, she thought it was a sign and got down here to Baker Ripley, but things didn't go as planned. A trip back to the polling place.
When I drove up right now, it was like deja vu, like,
What happened here election night still isn't sitting well with Melanie Driver.
From here to just right there, I'm ready to go in there and do my thing. And just like that, in a heartbeat, sorry, y'all gonna have to leave.
Melanie and some others got in on that extra hour to vote in Harris County, not knowing a court battle was brewing.
We were about to go and get and vote. The Supreme Court, they got some message over the phone or some systems saying the Supreme Court had revoked it and saying that no more, that we couldn't vote. So 11 of us that were waiting in there to vote that had filled out affidavit didn't get a chance to vote.
What's your reaction to that?
That's not fair. That's not fair at all because, I'm a U.S. citizen and I have the right to vote.
Oscar Morales and Melanie were high school classmates, raised on the East Side. Both learned early on that showing up matters.
I grew up in this community, and me being Hispanic, we get a lot of, they don't vote, can't get their votes, and it's the truth. So I try to make my voice count.
Which is why Melanie isn't planning to fight what happened. Instead, she feels empowered.
To figure out how can we prevent this? What do we need to do? What do we need to sign? Or we can't just let this slip through the cracks. It'll continue to happen.
So for you, it means getting more involved.
Exactly.
That's what this taught you, to get more involved.
To get more involved and now really raise my voice, because my voice does matter.
And I get the feeling that we're going to be hearing more from Melanie down the road. In the meantime, she says she's going to work on her multitasking skills and do her best to vote early next time. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, a lot of people do choose to vote early, and when election day has problems, you got to pat yourself on the back if you voted early, because you avoid those things.
Yeah.
Well, Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo went to bed last night cautiously optimistic.
But her victory was confirmed this morning by final election results and a concession by her Republican challenger.
Jason Miles is live from the 5th Ward, where Hidalgo spoke with reporters this afternoon.
And Jason, by how much did Hidalgo win?
Only about 16,000 votes. That's out of more than 1 million cast in the judge's race. Not a massive margin, but enough, Judge Hidalgo says, to affirm the job she's doing. Cautiously optimistic about the election outcome when she went to bed.
Didn't I say it would be a sweet victory after all they threw at us?
Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo now confident in her projected victory today.
To the naysayers who think I'll be intimidated by conspiracy theories or by bullying or by political prosecutions, bring it on! Bring it on!
With 782 of 782 voting centers reporting, data shows Hidalgo ahead by about 16,000 votes over Republican challenger Alex Mueller, for whom staggering fundraising capabilities and high-profile endorsements were apparently not enough to ensure an upset.
She had almost $10 million in the bank, and she had a U.S. senator, and she had a furniture salesman. You can't win them all. Can't win all the bets.
In a statement issued this morning, Mueller said in part, quote, "While we did not accomplish our goal of changing leadership in Harris County, we were successful in elevating the profile of critical issues like the need to appropriately resource our law enforcement and criminal justice system, as well as the desire to eliminate corruption and increase transparency in local government." Hidalgo says the record shows fighting crime is a concern, as is funding law enforcement, something the majority of voters clearly believe she can effectively do, along with other components of her agenda. And following the news conference here at the Harris County Democratic Party headquarters, Judge Hidalgo did take a few questions from the media, including about the election and some of the issues that arose. She says it's time to let the dust settle a little bit, and any issues that are legitimate will be taken up and possibly corrected by Commissioner's Court and the Election Board. But another person on her staff telling me, think about all the polling sites where no major issues or issues of any kind arose out of, again, more than 700 polling places.
Reporting live from the 5th Ward, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Some perspective there. Thank you, Jason. For more election coverage, you can scan the QR code on your screen and bookmark the link on your phone so you can get real-time results as they come in.